It seems like science fiction or something out of the movies, being able to read someone's mind, but it is happening for real right here in Pittsburgh. At CMU, they are decoding brains and reading thoughts. Best known for producing computer geniuses and Hollywood stars, there is something going on in the basement of a building at Carnegie Mellon University that may blow your mind.
Okay, how are you feeling?
With the help of a $2 million MRI scanner, researchers are reading minds.
For the first time, we can get inside people's heads the way you've never been able to before.
CMU professor Marcel Just is the director of the Center for Cognitive Brain Imaging.
The cerebral cortex here.
He is at the forefront of this groundbreaking research.
We've broken the brain's code for thought.
So you are decoding the brain.
Yes.
You are figuring out what people are thinking.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get started.
Reading minds isn't a magic trick. It's a complicated process.
Here, this is the anatomy, the brain anatomy of our participant.
Willing subjects go into the MRI scanner and think about specific words. Advanced computer programs analyze brain scans looking for patterns. By doing this, Professor Just and his team made a major discovery.
One of the most dramatic findings of our work is that everybody's brain represents concepts the same way.
What exactly does that mean? Researchers can read our minds because our brains light up in the same spot when we think the same things. If I'm thinking about an apple, the way that's activated in my brain is the same in almost everybody else.
Very similar. I'm sure your experience with apples is slightly different than my experience with apples. But when you think of apple and I think of apple, very similar activation pattern occurs in both our brains. This person is thinking about apartment, and this is another person thinking about apartment.
In this scan, you can see the spots where both brains light up for the word apartment.
If we want to decode apartment, we look for activation in these areas, and bingo, we can get it.
What started as decoding single objects moved on to numbers.
If you think of a number from 1 to 7, and you're in the scanner, I can tell what it is. So you don't want to play poker with me.
They have figured out emotions.
I know how I feel anger, but I had no idea how you would feel anger, and yet your brain activation when you feel anger is just like mine. I find that, incredible.
You're going to be seeing sentences one phrase at a time.
And they are now working on decoding full sentences.
People often ask, what is this good for? It's very nice that you can do this analysis, but so what?
Researchers believe if they can decode what's wrong with someone's brain, it can one day be used to diagnose and treat psychiatric illnesses. In the classroom, they would be able to see how students learn and why some fail and some succeed in certain subjects. Right now, all of this work takes a massive machine, time, and money. What do you see in the future?
Someday, I'll be able to point my smartphone at your forehead and see what you're thinking.